Lisa. I have a 4-photo page today. These photos are over 2 years old. They were my dad's 80th birthday, and I printed out some photos and was going to scrap them many times, and every time I'd look at them I would see this photo and I'd think that I had cropped it wrong because I cut part of his head off, and then I needed to go back and redo it. Well, as it turns out, that's just the way the photo was taken. So I really didn't have a whole lot to redo and print, but I finally got the pictures together, and I want to do this page using the Urban Luxe collection from Basic Gray with this rough sketch of these 4 photos, maybe some paper behind them, and then use some of the 6x6 papers here in the corners. These little sprinkles are specifically from this collection. They could be enamel dots or sequins or whatever, but the collection has these sequins, and I'm going to concentrate on the blue color for him. It's one of his favorite colors, and my mother happened to be wearing blue, even a sparkly blue top that day, which is not typical for her, but that's what she happened to have on. So let's pull out what we want out of Urban Luxe. I want papers that concentrate more on the blues and maybe some of the black in here. The story behind this is I gave him a mini album of his family from his childhood, and his life story was in the mini album, and one of his sisters wrote a letter to him that's included in there, and she subsequently passed away, and that's really been a very meaningful thing for him to have. So wanted to capture that story as part of the birthday. So let's just pull out a lot of different things here. I like the golds. He likes yellow, and I think that goes really well. Maybe, probably not. This is just like a larger scale version of that print. Okay, I think we've got everything that doesn't have pink in it. Well, there is this stripe paper, and this has some pink, and I have a little bit of it already out here from a previous usage of these papers. I also have some 12 by 12, see if there's anything we can use. I think this is too much for the background. I don't want the pink. I don't want that stripe because it's got too much pink in it. This is a gorgeous paper. I've got to do something with that, and I have 2 sheets of it, and I haven't done anything with it yet. Yeah, there's some nice papers here, but I'm not seeing anything that quite goes with what I'm doing. I do like this little bit because I like that gold stripe there, and I have a smaller piece of that. That's probably big enough. Now, the embellishments for this don't quite go for necessarily what I'm doing with this page. I could use life if that's still in there. That would be good, but most of it just doesn't quite work for what we're doing. But I did like the sequins and the colors that were in this. I also like these stickers. These were sort of I remember when I showed this in a shopping video that I had received this, somebody commented those were odd collection of stickers to go with this grouping. It's just the black and gold, and so it's still in the box with the Urban Luxe, but this will get broken down eventually and just put with my regular stickers, and it'll probably get more use. But I might use it here some, since I want to use some of that gold. It's just sort of unusual to see black and dark blue together. Here again we have some embellishments that I don't think quite work. I don't know if I'm going to use these for the title, but I'll pull those out. So those are the things from the collection that I think might work for us. Now, with these colors in mind and these photos, what do I want to use for background? I'm thinking a light goldish paper, which is probably better in thought than in reality. I don't know if I have anything, but let me go see what I can find. The album had a lot of his favorite colors, had a lot of blues and yellows, and a lot of a light tannish gold for the early photos that that went with the black and white photos and those kind of things. So let me see what I've got that I could do for a background. Well, I had more than I thought. I like this paper. It's just not the right color of gold. It's got too much of a green cast to it, and I don't think it'd probably work with the stickers if I dropped these two papers. I could make that work, but I really like those papers, so I'm not sure about that. I also have, this is from Stamping Up, and that is, now that I think about it, that is copper, not gold in the beige. So it's probably fudge, but not really the best choice. This I like. Goes nicely with the colors. And I have two versions of this. I have just this distressed paper that's a real subtle tone-on-tone design, and then I have the stars. This was from this chalkboard line, and I'm going to use the colorful sides of these. Yeah, neither one of them had stuff on the back that I liked. So, kind of like, let's see how this works. Are the stars too much? I mean, stars are good celebratory things for a birthday. I like the stars better. I don't like all the distressing on this paper. It's just, it looks dirty. So I like the stars. I'm kind of surprised that I had something that works for that. So we're going to use that. We might use some of the stickers, we might not. We'll see. So let me trim down these photos and start arranging this by cutting these strips of paper, or these pieces of 6x6 paper, into strips, and then I'm doing some edges to them, either pointed edges or sort of a flag kind of edge, pennant kind of edge, to make these so that they'll look like little pennants going across the bottom and then across the top. Now, to get them more exact, I really should use a ruler, but I was just eyeballing them to make it a little bit faster going through. This particular weekend is a busy weekend here, so I wanted to move the page along. And I have some stickers that I think I'm going to work into these pennants as well. I think that'll be a good place for some of those stickers to go in. But I did feel like they looked a little bare there just by themselves, so they needed to have some ink on the edges. I used to ink the edges of everything, and I just don't do that very much anymore. But this particular page, I felt like these needed a finishing touch. So I'm using some Midnight Muse ink, which is an old one of those, what are they called? End colors from Stamping Up that I loved, and I bought the ink pad for it. I'm using that for my blue, and I've done that top and bottom. We'll glue the photos on. Now, here's one of the only thing I don't like about the ATG gun is it adheres too well. You have no time. Once you put something down, it's down. There's no moving it. And I'm not used to that, and I didn't get my first photo up there quite as high as I wanted, but I made them work. And they are kind of having to lay over the top of each other a little bit on the page, but I've tried to fix them so they're not covering up anything critical. The wording is not very original. It's going to say Happy 80th Birthday. I thought about different titles, and that was just the most obvious thing. So I decided to go ahead and stick with that for this birthday page. And I did kind of mess up my title is I didn't put it high enough for the Y. If you're bumping up against something, you probably should consider your letters that have I call it a tail. There's a proper name for that. The part that goes down on the letter, and I should have checked for that first, but I didn't. But I'll get birthday all straightened up nice and straight there with my ruler, and I'll glue 80th down. Those letters are going to need a little extra adhesive. And for the word happy, I finally, after going through tons of stickers, found a sticker that had the word happy on it. I just had to trim it out with something else. For my journaling, I printed it on that gold paper from the 6x6 pad. And then I'm just trimming it down, and I'm going to place it in different spots along the photos. The sketch has the journaling up at the top, but I use the word life up there, and I kind of like the journaling right on the edges of the photos. And then for embellishments, for a guy page, I finally decided to look in my mixed media for some buttons, because I kind of looked through everything else I had, and I didn't really like anything. And I knew I had some gold buttons. These are from Hobby Lobby. They're the Paper Studio line. And I'm just picking a few of these, and I will hot glue these on to get them to stay good. And there's a key that I'm going to use too, and that's a real key. Like I got it at a place called Art Warehouse or Resource Warehouse, something like that, locally, where you can get, people donate all kinds of stuff that you can use in art, and it's just the kind of things that most people would throw out, like old keys, and I bought some one day. I was in there the other day looking for something specific, and I found a bag of thimbles, and I bought them. I should really use the thimbles, but for 50 cents I got like 6 thimbles. Okay, I've glued all my sequins down with glossy accents. I'm not real sure about them. Normally when I use sequins on a page, I really like how they enhance the page. This page kind of looks to me like it has the measles. It's a lot of spots. But I do like how the strips of paper came out with the little banner, an upside down banner, kind of fill in these corners, and then we could let our photos flow down through the middle here. I decided not to put a background paper behind this to try to find something that went with it. I didn't feel like I needed a contrast there, and if I had done something, I would probably needed like a neutral, some gold. I could have used that one piece of gold that was like this that had the distressing on it. That would have worked well here, but I just, just kept with the one background paper. And my embellishments ended up more in the corners than in this section. My photos go all the way to the edge, so there was really, I'm covering up as much of them as I want to, so there's really nowhere to kind of hide an embellishment there. It would depend on the photos that you had. And you could do full 4x6s. They would just take up more of the space on the page, and you wouldn't have as much room for the papers and the embellishments. But we finally have this birthday celebrated. I'll put the date up here on this happiness sticker. I like how the lettering came out down at the bottom, and I've got just the right colors and all to celebrate this birthday. So thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the page, and check out some of my other videos. If you're not a subscriber, I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much.